Hello everybody, welcome back. For those who don't know, my name is Jamie. I'm the founder of a game studio called Reunited Games. I'm currently working on my first game project while I'm going back to school for my bachelor's degree in game development at Full Sail University. Up until now, I've never really worked on a project before, and I've just been self-taught. So this should be interesting. It's not going to be anything great, but let me show you my first project. So I'm opening up my first project here in the background. All the tutorials and videos that I've watched have all said the number one thing that game developers do as starting game developers is work on their dream project, and that's what they should not do because they're either never going to finish it or they're going to rush through it trying to get it done because they're going to realize it's a lot more work than it seems and then never finish it, or it's going to come out and it's going to be terrible because your first game is probably going to be bad. So with that in mind, and after I've done a few courses already, I decided to do my first game on Game Maker, and I'm going to release a clicker. Now this clicker is, from what I've seen, from what I can tell, going to be different than most other clickers, or at least the idea of it. It's the gameplay mechanics, it's a clicker. It can't be different, really, right? But the theme of it is going to be paintball. The twist to it is that, well, let me just show you. Okay, so before we get into the actual game, which is not going to take very long, I just want to make sure I'm very upfront and clear with everybody that this is not my code. It's my game's code, but I didn't write most of it. So I've written myself about a quarter of the total code that's on here. But I am using ChatGPT to help me get through this, as it is my first game. I'm trying to make sure the code gets written correctly, and I'm also trying to make sure the code gets has good practices, like with the camel case and all that. So while I myself did not write each individual thing, I made sure ChatGPT knew exactly what I wanted to do. I made sure that if there was any bugs, I found the bugs and did my best to tell ChatGPT, hey, this is messed up, this didn't work, I need to get this fixed in this way over in the left pressed events of this object. And they're like, okay, I'll fix this, and fix it for me. I know it's not the best thing to do, and I know it's not going to be long term. Like, I'm not going to just use ChatGPT my entire career. I'm going to learn all this stuff myself. But seeing as I've never done it before, I wanted a guiding hand, essentially. So let me go over here and hit play to show you what I have. Right off the bat, it's very colorful, as you can see. For those of you who never played paintball before, this is like a speedball kind of setup with the air bunkers set up here. We have our main paintball gun right here, where when you click, if you look over here on the top left, boop, 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 it starts to count all of your clicks as you keep on clicking. Now, the thing with paintball guns is that the high-end ones, the tournament style paintball guns, you are able to roll the trigger with your fingers. You can click like you're pulling the trigger, and then you can roll it like you're pulling a paintball trigger. Just like that. Let me show you down here, that way it's not clicking right in the mouse. You can just go crazy with it. Let it just go on and go on and go on. It also, technically, for those of you who aren't into paintball or want to get into paintball, you could use this to help train your fingers to roll, probably. Might not be the best way to train them, but it would work. So right now I have this setup here. Quick note, I want to say that all the art I did myself except for the background. I know that's the biggest piece, but the background was AI generated. This piece of the gun I drew this little shop emote, including all the little paint splatters I drew myself. This I did myself. This little X I did myself where you can close it out. But we're gonna add a teammate, add a rental player here for 300 points. Bam, we got one right there, and now the counter's going up on its own as an idle counter, because that's what clickers are, right? We're gonna be able to get up to 5 rental players as we're clicking here. The next one is going to be at 800, but I'm not going to make you guys watch me get to 800 because this is essentially all I have so far. Music's going to be the last thing I add. I also have a little list here of what I'm going to be adding in soon. So my next game dev update is going to be hopefully pretty significant. But that's all for this episode, or this first game dev update. Thank you all for watching, and I'm excited for what comes next. I'll see you guys next week.